Hey guys, Matt here from Seeds of Awareness. Welcome to the Awakening series. This is episode 4, and in this episode I'm going to be exploring the question, what is the human body? This is a question that some people might find strange because a lot of people don't actually sit and meditate on and just ponder what is this vessel I'm in? Maybe I think the only time people tend to do that is if when they take psychedelics, for example, and they're actually maybe they've had some marijuana or LSD or magic mushrooms and they're just like, whoa, what is this thing that I'm in? This is these fingers, this body, this is these senses, this brain, this is all crazy. But it's a good thing to do in just everyday life because our relationship with the body, our relationship with the body is so important because the body is the vessel that we're experiencing this world in. And so how we identify with the body or how we perceive it and our relationship with it is then going to determine how we relate to the world. So to give a bit of in a nutshell on how I perceive the body before I expand a little bit, I basically see it as like a biological computer, something that allows us to decode a reality. And when I say us, something that allows our true self, what I believe is our eternal self that exists beyond the birth and the death of the physical body, which I've talked about in a previous video. It allows that true self to experience the lower densities of this universe, the more physical densities that it otherwise can't experience. And I'm hesitant to call the body a computer because a computer is like a dead, hardened thing that has no life force within it, whereas the body is actually is vibrant with intelligence. It is alive, it's got life force running through it, and it has its own intelligence that merges with the intelligence of our eternal spirit, in my opinion. But in many ways, it is like a computer in that it helps us decode a reality. And you can, for example, a laptop, I'm right now sitting in Wi-Fi frequencies, but those frequencies are just energy, and the information that this Wi-Fi field contains is just information until we get onto a laptop, which allows us to decode that information into what we call the World Wide Web, and we experience what we call the internet. And it's the same with the physical body. Our spirit inhabits this physical body to allow it to experience this thing we call physical reality and this place we call Earth in a way that it otherwise can't experience. And it's a very, very unique experience. And in many ways, it's also a very limited experience. It's an amazing experience, but it's an extremely limited experience, especially the consciousness or the awareness of our eternal spirit is so expansive. It's so connected with all that is in the universe. And we choose to come into this human body, which narrows our range of perception and range of experience incredibly, and also merges us with these instincts, these primal instincts, which are very much based around survival, because there is the reality is that we come down into this beautiful planet, but this planet's kind of like a jungle. It's a ruthless jungle where there's these constant predator-prey relationships, and there's a lot of danger that exists here and a lot of evil that exists here, and therefore the body comes equipped with these instincts, with these primal instincts that are built around survival. And so we have to find a way to not only experience this reality, but merge with these powerful instincts that we're often not taught how to tame, and therefore they become very frightening, they become very scary, and that's what a lot of people don't know how to control or how to relate to these feelings that are within them, especially when it arises like fear or panic or anxiety. And that's where Big Pharma has sort of capitalized on that and convinced everyone the way to control the body is through whipping it into submission with pharmaceutical drugs. But that could be a topic for another video. Going back to the main point is that this body is actually very, very limited. And it's important to understand that because by understanding how limited our experience is through the body, it allows us to understand how ignorant we are in so many ways. And this quantum physics has shown that in many respects, because quantum physics shows us that there's all of this energy everywhere, and all of this energy that exists everywhere carries with it information. And quantum physics has also shown us that everything physical at its deepest base form is all energetic. No matter how physical it seems to us, whether it be your body or a tabletop or a rock or a tree or whatever, if you delve into it deeper, onto the deepest atomic level, and even deeper than that, down into the inside of the atom, like the proton and the neutron and the electron, all of that is just vibrating energy. So everything in this universe is just vibrating energy. But what the body does, just like the computer with the Wi-Fi, it allows our spirit to capture some of those energies and unlock the information within them, and then decode them into, as I said, what we call physical reality. So in many ways, this physical reality is just an illusion, just like when we put a virtual reality suit on and we go into a world that feels very, very real. And I've experienced that, and I've experienced virtual reality a couple of years ago, and it's incredibly, incredibly real, and it's only going to get more real-like as it develops. But it's just an illusion. And it's the same thing with this world we're in right now. It feels very real, it looks very real, but that's all just the illusion of the senses. It's not actually real, and quantum physics is actually proving that through science. So this can all seem very trippy, and on that note, psychedelics can also give us that experience, because psychedelics, especially psychedelics like magic mushrooms and marijuana and LSD, they hijack the senses, they hijack the brain, and they change the way we can decode reality. And you can go, if you go deep enough into these psychedelics, or you take enough of them, and ayahuasca is another one, they can give you an experience that is something unfathomable to most people who are so locked into the physical world. And it's more proof, it's more confirmation that all of this is an illusion. It really is just an illusion, and that the body is an illusion. This experience we're having is an illusion, and that can be very trippy. That can be very sobering. That can be very hard, because we've got so many attachments here. We've got all the people we love, the things we love. We love ourselves, and the idea that all of this is an illusion, that can be pretty scary. That can be pretty sad. I've got my 5-month-old son sitting sleeping in the other room now. It's like he's an illusion. All of this is an illusion. It's hard to get our heads around. But it's where all of the reality points to. But just because it's an illusion doesn't mean that it's not meaningful, doesn't mean that we don't want to make the most of it while we're here. But embracing the idea of it being an illusion allows us to overcome so many of the fears that I spoke about before that exist within the body. These fears of the primal fears that we have deep within that tell us that we just need to keep surviving, we need to keep protecting ourselves, we need to keep sheltering and bunkering down and protecting ourselves from the world. And these are the fears that the ruling powers of the world capitalize on, and that they try to enhance within us and pummel into our minds so greatly. And especially at the moment with all this COVID stuff, they want us in a chronic state of fear, because when we're in fear, we feel disempowered, we close up, we disconnect ourselves from each other and ourselves, and we give our power away. But when we contemplate on what the body is, and we realize that it and this reality is all an illusion, and we really, really meditate on that and actually embody it deep within us, once you embody that, so many of the fears that previously crippled us just evaporate. And that doesn't mean you stop caring. It doesn't mean I stop loving my son and with a love that makes my chest want to burst. It doesn't mean that I don't love this experience and that it makes me sad to think that it will end one day. All of that is true. It just means that I actually value it even more, because with the fear out of the way, you can actually feel everything so much more deeply. And we really are feeling based beings, and fear and division and disconnection that all the ruling powers seek to impose on us so deeply, it all makes us retract from the world and numb ourselves. And we don't like, because we don't like the anxiety that it makes us feel. And therefore, as I said, we take all the pharmaceutical drugs, we drink ourselves stupid, we eat ourselves stupid, we get addicted to social media and the internet because we're trying to escape the world because we don't like how it feels. But when you realize it's an illusion, when you realize anxiety is an illusion, fear is an illusion, all of it is an illusion, you just surrender to it. You realize I'm not here to run away and escape from those things. I'm here to embrace those things. And then when you embrace those things, you also embrace the beautiful things, the love you feel for your son or your daughter or your family, the smells and the senses, the beautiful senses that we're experiencing through this human body, and the connection with our friends and the fun things that we love to do, and our passions and our ambitions, and the creative things that we pursue in this world, whether it be music or art or writing or poetry or painting, just anything creating that makes our hearts sing with joy. We embrace those things more fully because we realize that they're the things we came here to experience. Our spirit, why would we choose from being an eternal beings that we are, that are connected to everything and all that is and ever has been, and have this incredibly expanded awareness that transcends fear and limitations? Why would we choose to leave that realm to come experience things from such a limited human perspective with all the risks and dangers and harms that we can experience? It's because those experiences are things we can't experience outside the human body in the same way. We wanted to come here to experience all of life. We wanted to come here and experience fear. We wanted to come here and experience loss and anxiety and sadness and depression. We wanted to come here and experience those, but also experience the other end of the spectrum. We wanted to come here to surrender to those things and not judge them and work our way through them, because that allows us to create soul lessons and evolve in so many ways on deeper levels that we can't evolve outside the human body. So here we have this limited human experience that limits our awareness, that is also illusory in so many ways, as I said, on one hand, but on the other hand, it's a powerful, empowering, beautiful experience that we chose to come here to experience for a reason. So it's a dichotomy that is very, very hard for many people to kind of grasp. But as I said, it's so important to contemplate on this, because the relationship that we have with our body determines the relationship that we have with the world. And I don't think we came here to try to escape the world and to wrap ourselves in bubble wrap like many people are doing now, and being afraid of everything and trying to run from everything. I think we came here to embrace those risks, to embrace those dangers, and in the same process, embrace the loves, embrace the joy, embrace the passions. And that can only happen when we come back to identifying with ourselves as spiritual beings inhabiting this incredible biological body that allows us to have this incredible experience, and just to be present with this experience and take as many moments during the day to just look down at your body and just realize how amazing it is. It really is, no matter what angle you analyze it from and study it from, it is just a mind-blowing vessel. And for those who are parents, when you see that these vessels can create another one of these vessels, and seeing that birthing process and seeing a baby human develop and evolve and grow, it's so mind-boggling that you can barely even put it to words. And so we need to take the time to step back and appreciate that, and also connect into the body. So much of us live just up in our heads, rather than actually experiencing the world through the body properly, which means all of the senses, which means coming back to the smells. Like, most people are so stuck in their heads, they're so stuck in pursuing their ambitions that they don't come back and actually appreciate the smells that they're smelling right now, and the feel of the wind brushing against their skin, and the feel of the weight of the clothes on their skin, and the sounds and the sights. Like, we become so desensitized to these things because we're just so caught up in our head-based ambitions. So it's important to remind yourself to come back to those things and really, really appreciate this experience, because it is illusory and it will pass like that. And we don't want to get to the end of our lives just being like, what a waste. Why didn't I appreciate the things I had and the experiences I had more when I had them? So, let's make sure we don't do that. And we will get other chances. I believe we have multiple lifetimes in multiple different bodies, and possibly even in different forms of life forms, maybe on different planets. But we're here right now having this experience, and it's a beautiful one. So let's really, really embrace it. And it starts with exploring the question, what is the body, and then embracing the body in all it is. So thank you for listening, and I look forward to seeing you on the next episode.